All right, before we get started on our painting, we got to create a palette. To do this, I'm going to add a piece of plastic over some cardboard. And this is more of a cardstock, but you can do this with anything. If you have some sort of hard surface, a plate, maybe even one of those Tupperware containers. Anyway, what I'm doing is I'm covering it with plastic, just putting a couple pieces of tape on the back. This is going to just make sure this plastic doesn't move. And then the plastic makes it so that the cardboard that I'm using doesn't absorb the water or the paint. Now that we've got a surface for our paints to go on, I'm going to use a paper towel and get it wet, and then I'll place that on top of this palette. The reason I'm doing that is so that when I add paints on top of this palette, this homemade palette that I have, I don't want the paints to dry out. By adding a little bit of moisture, now it looks like I added a ton, but I wring it out, and then so that bit of moisture inside that paper towel will help keep my paints dry. Help keep them moist. All right, and then you just set it along your palette, and then you can put your paints, your acrylic paints, directly onto that surface. And then when you're done, you just throw away the paper towel, and after a while, you might end up throwing away that piece of plastic.